Okay, so we're going to have a brief view on Module 1 Journal Guidelines and Rubric. And the reason why I do these videos is to help you get a better frame of mind as you look into the guidelines and rubric of the assignment. It's important to really understand what the assignment is all about so you can have a really good notion of where you're headed. Also, we're going to be looking at the technicalities, the technical requirements of the assignment, because it's important not only to understand what the assignment is asking you to do as far as the guidelines and rubric are concerned, but also you want to basically look at what the rubric is requiring, specific aspects of the rubric, so that whenever I'm looking at your assignment, you're not going to be thrown off because maybe there was a misunderstanding of what certain sections of the rubric were requiring. So at the heart of this assignment, and that is Module 1, Journal Guidelines and Rubric, okay, the scenario aspect of it is you are interviewing for a position as a director of strategic planning for a Fortune Global 500 company. So it's a very high-level position. You're going to be involved with leading and establishing the strategic planning aspect for this company, right? So this is going to be a big deal. This is not something like an entry-level positioning to the company. And so when we deal into these scenarios, it's important for you to buy into the scenario, okay? So the part of buying into the scenario, it's also important that you buy into the company. And we'll talk about the company selection under prompt, okay? But be aware that you are going to select a company based on the list, and that you have to buy into the company so you can also buy into the scenario. So as you head into this assignment, basically chalk out the traditional approach that you have had. This is a scenario-based, meaning you are going to sit down and you're going to think things over based on what the scenario is really asking of you. So at a point in time, right now, you are basically interviewing for the director of strategic planning for one of these companies. Part of the interview process is to understand what the company is, to understand what you can bring to the table, right? You're sitting there, you're speaking with the interviewer, and the interviewer is trying to pick on certain things, right? Not only the proficiency that you have, the work history and whatnot, but they want to know what you can bring to the table, what you can bring to this job. So as you're looking through this assignment, this is something that you were looking into. What can I bring to this company in terms of strategic planning, right? What can I bring that's going to enhance them? It's going to set them up on a new voyage, so to speak, on the next step into this company's history. So it's important to you prepare for this scenario to really buy into. One of the things that I do sometimes when I do scenarios that I'm preparing for a certain scenario analysis and play through a certain scenario, whether it's in banking or whether it's academic, sometimes to get into that mood, to get into that frame of mind. So, for example, the scenario here, you're going to be interviewing for this position, or you're going to get the position. But to really get into it, into a scenario, I would even dress up as if I'm going to an interview. And you're like, what? Are you Meshuggah? Are you crazy? Play dress up? No. What you're trying to do as you go through this scenario and the other scenarios of this course is that you really want to step into that scenario, make that scenario as realistic as possible. For example, majority of us, that would include you as well, some of you, we've been working at home for almost a year now because of the lockdowns, right? One of the things that I do when I'm working from home to really step into that role is, my daily role, risk management, academic, whatnot. I actually dress as if I'm going to the office. I have a place that I work at my home as if that was my office, because that allows me to get into the role, which is very important for us to do, particularly when we are dealing with scenario. Of course, you don't have to dress up or any of that. But what you want to do is try to make the scenarios as realistic as possible. So this is one of those tips to really get the mind ready to participate in these type of scenarios, right? So to prepare for the interview, you research the company to understand its businesses and customer base. Again, this is anything that we already do, right? Whenever we are looking stepping into a new position, and when we are getting there to the interview, we don't want to sound like idiots. We really want to understand the company that we want to work for, but also to understand what the business is and its customer base. You want to be able to recommend tangible strategies the company can use to improve its market share or revenue. So it's not only, hey, you hire me, you're going to get a new hire, but in this interview, you're going to go in and you're already going to give them, right, tips, recommendations on tangible strategies, things that they can really sink their teeth into on how they can improve its market share or the revenue, right? So you decide to delve a little deeper into the company's vision and long-term strategic goals and identify some obstacles the company may face in reaching these goals. So again, the scenario is you're digging a little bit deeper, you're looking into the market share, you're looking into the profitability, okay? And also you're going to be digging a little bit deep into the company's vision and long-term strategic goals, okay? So you look what they're all about, what some of the visions that they have, long-term strategic goals, and you're also going to identify some of the obstacles that's going to keep the company from reaching these goals. So I think that in any job, in any interview that you're going to with this type of mindset, I'm going to go over there not just to, basically tell them what they want to hear, but I'm going to go with tangible plans, some things that they can really dig into, and also they'll be looking at you and going, wow, this guy, this gal came here for an interview, and they already telling, hey, maybe you're not doing this, maybe you are, but these are some of the things that I believe that can help further your company along. So let's talk about prompt, because this is important. First, choose a Fortune Global 500 company from the following list. These companies listed here, Sanofi, Toro SE, Deutsche, Toyota, Randstad, Comcast Corp, Airbus, UPS, these are the companies that you will need to select from. One company. Okay. Now keep in mind that whatever company you select, this is a company that you're going to stick with throughout, for the remainder of the course. So be sure that whatever company you choose, it's a company you're passionate about. And if you're not passionate about the company, at least a product that they do, right? Or a service that you're passionate about, because it's easier for you to stick with this company and just, go through these assignments for a successful completion of the course if you're passionate about the company, or you're passionate about a product, or you're passionate about what they have to offer. The worst thing that I have done in the past, and others as students have also gone through this, is that we have had to select a company that we really we don't like, or, we're stuck with a company that, I really don't like their service, or I don't like their products. So you really can't identify. But when you find a company, you may not like that company very much, but boy, they produce really great products, right? They really will, they're really great leaders of innovation, leaders in providing awesome, specific service that they do, and you're really passionate about that. It's easier to get through the assignments. It's easier to, just lug it through, right? Because you are passionate about what you do. It reminds me when I was doing my dissertation, I actually had to go back and redo it because there was a situation that a mentor, pointed out. And the second time going around, for my dissertation, I was really passionate about what I was writing, which was profitability, how terrorism, how price of oil impact profitability and airlines, So these were things that I was passionate about. So it really helped me to slug it through my dissertation, and that took a while and a lot of money. But because I was passionate about what I was writing, it made it a little bit easier. So, be wise about which company you're going to select. Now, the question most asked, well, I got this company that I've been working with, throughout my MBA journey. Can I use it? It's not here. Well, make sure that, one, it's a Fortune Global 500 company. Make sure that it's that. And make sure that it's a public company, okay? Because you're going to need the company and industry information. You're going to need those financials. And sometimes if it's a private company, they will not show their financials. They're not going to share that. But if it's a public company, particularly a Fortune Global 500 company, it's going to have all that information online. They have to disclose it. It's actually regulatory demands on the company. They have to use that, okay? So use the company industry information section on the MBA Library Research Guide, okay? You can also use the company's website and other resources so you can learn more about your company, okay? Now here's the assignment. Then write a journal to describe the background and basic business information related to the company. Okay. Specifically, you must address the following rubric criteria. So let's go. So you're gonna write a journal, and now you're going to be doing this. 1, provide a brief company overview. Identify the company's global headquarters and the primary products and services it offers. So this is easy, right? Very easy, straight through. Then 2nd, describe the company's customer base. Does the company primarily serve businesses or individuals? Explain how. And then you're going to be looking at using events from the past year, that'll be 2020, identify at least one obstacle the company is currently facing or might face in the future that could impact its success. This is, again, it's very easy because one of the major things, right, that it's impacting companies today, it's COVID. It's the global pandemic. And I expect throughout your assignments that the global pandemic and its impact is going to play huge in your simulations, in your analyses, in your future reporting. It's going to play a huge role. Not the only role, right? Because some companies have actually been positively impacted by COVID, but not all. Okay, so it's one of those things that you can discuss and explain this obstacle. Explain how this obstacle might impact its revenue or market share. Okay, so these are the areas that you're going to be covering. Okay, as far as writing your journal. Okay, now maybe using the word journal because unfortunately I did not write this course. I would have chosen something like a report. Because the journal gives an idea that, it's very informal, write a big journal about how you spent the day. Oh, dear journal, blah, blah, blah. No, this is not one of those very warm and fuzzy type of journaling, okay? This is more like a report. Okay? Now, these are the guidelines for your submissions. Very important. Submit a 1 to 2 page Word document using double spacing, 12-point Times New Roman font, and 1-inch margins. Sources should be cited according to APA style. Now, when it says should, it doesn't mean, well, I don't have to use sources. You will need to use sources, both in-text citations and references. And consult the Shapiro Library APA style guide for more information on the citations. So you will need to have both in-text citations and references, and they need to be on APA. Whether there's 6, APA 6 or 7, it really doesn't matter. Okay, just be sure. Now, this is what I'm going to be measuring. When I receive your assignment, I will read your assignment that this is going to be grading you on. This is a Module 1 journal rubric. Criteria, company overview, exemplary, exceeds proficiency in exceptional, clear, insightful, sophisticated, or creative manner. So this is what you're going to be graded against. Customer base, right? Exceeds proficiency in exceptional, clear, insightful, sophisticated, creative matter. Obstacle, what is the obstacle that we're facing? We talked about, COVID. And the other one is the impact on revenue and market share. What are some of these events and what kind of impact it's having on your revenue, your stream of income, or the market share, right? How much of the market is owned by your company, okay? And articulation of response, okay? And it's kind of neat that they broke this down in two phases. One is your articulation of response. That has to do with your grammar, okay? The structure of your grammar. And the other one is citations and attributions, meaning, make sure that you use your APA citations and your APA grammars, okay? Now, there are two tools that can really help you with that, with your grammar. That is Grammarly, but Grammarly does not do APA citations, okay? Citations and attributions, a great website for that is citationmachine.net. It's really awesome. And if you really don't know how to do APA, look, the best resource is, of course, on YouTube. Go to YouTube and just type in there how to do APA citations and references. It'll give you these really nifty, brief, sometimes very fun, sometimes very humorous videos that you can learn. That's how I survived my doctoral studies, okay? Anyways, so I'm excited. This is a really great assignment. Looking forward to some really quality work and very creative. And I know that you're going to do awesome in this. And thank you so much. And if you have any questions, any concerns, go ahead and give me a call.